Okay, we're going to start with the session. It's Tuesday, the 1st of July, 2025. It's 11:04. So that is Saturn, that is Sun and Mars. Quite a volatile day, actually. Very volatile day. Saturn and Mars don't really get along. It's a push and pull. And Saturn and Sun also don't get along. Right? So the destiny number is Saturn. The day number is Sun, and the weekday is Mars. So it's a fighting day, not a nice day. Okay. Now, anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm little surprised because yesterday, when I have spoken to the pendulum off camera, it told me something that, frankly, I would have never guessed. And it actually came from the fact that we got AKIL and AKI. Plus, I had a dream of my cousin or somebody looking like my cousin picking up a ladi, which is a big tile, and throwing it on my back to kill me, simply because the person who this incident happened with, the two dark girls shown in a previous dream in 2012, similar to those two girls, were shown in the dream in 2020. This dream was shown to me in 2020, 21, 22. I cannot remember actually. I think it was 22, 23, 24 sometime. And I mentioned it earlier also. So it was shown that somebody had been killed, murdered, if I can say so, in my very own bedroom of this apartment. But at that time, I was in Bombay because I was staying in Bonsai Stay, and I got a call to go to Bombay for my mom being admitted into Bhatia Hospital. So I had gone there for about a month, or little less or little more than a month, I don't know. I stayed at Ambassador Hotel. And then I, as usual, when I'm in Bombay, I fall sick 3 times a year. So again, I had got the flu. So I was yet again in my hotel room towards the end of the stay, and getting over the flu for those few days. It generally takes about 5 days to 7 days to get well. And that's the same thing that happened with me, as usual. So anyway, yesterday, because I was a little, I won't say I was concerned, I'll just say I was wondering more about the dream where I have been shown about someone being killed in this apartment of mine in my bedroom. For Shambhav E, what I got was what? S.M. Krishna's daughter, married to my cousin brother. What did I get? I'm no Dimes. I wouldn't like some old voice talking about Dimes mate. From the side of my ear, you want to say something, I'd like you to talk face to face, because it's my family you have affected. And I don't appreciate it. You have portrayed India in very poor light with your behavior. It is not an Indian way. You have literally unscrewed every institution in this country. But you know what? You'll cause little problems to the people. Maximum 70 kalpas, Nark and Patal is no small feat to earn, but you can go and live it. Not one soul will sympathize with you because it is well earned by you and nobody else. So when it came to Shambhav E, what did we get? August 2019 is what we got for Shambhav E. Krishnan. Have a look. She's Umesh's wife. I said, but when the pendulum is saying this is the time I was in Bombay. From Bonsai Stay, I had gone to Bombay. So I said, don't tell me the only time anyone can come and access my bedroom is if I'm not in town. or I'm not living here. Otherwise, I'm living over here. How it can be done with me living here? It's not possible. So almost immediately off camera, yesterday, what I did is I said, so did this happen behind my back? And I got a no. I said, but then Akhil was there, but we've understood Akhil was murdered in Akhil Gupta himself was murdered in 1995, his mother 1993, his brother 2005. Yet we have people like them out in society. The only hint are the events and the timeline of everything that's different from, let's say, the first 27 years of my life, first 24 years of my life. Also, I'm saying whoever was raking India, they probably were studying India and my setup from 1996 stealth mode. So how did they come to a conclusion that the identity of Kiran Merchant is the most obscure out of Lonavala? That's because because I have been complaining that from 1996, after I have come back from QUT, things were different and it has never changed. It only got worse and worse and worse. How is it possible? So your people, from whoever the spies are, they have entered India, studied the situation, and then decided Lonavala is 4 hours away from Bombay. The couple lives like sadhakas. Their only trips are to Puttaparthi and to maybe Amma's ashram, Amritanandamayi Mata's ashram. Their whole life is centered over there. At the most, my mother only comes, meets Jaya, Varsha and Bombay. She doesn't socialize with other people since she left my father, because all her family was against it. Kiran uncle has the same problem with his family. He refuses to step into Ravi Kiran. When he has married my mother, his father insisted there is his share of the 8th floor at Chopati, but the couple said absolutely not, anything but. Then he said, okay, you stay in Andheri, was going to buy them an apartment there. They said no. Finally, they agreed to Lonavala, which gives them access to Bombay, but refused to be part of the mess of Bombay or the energetic mess of Bombay. They didn't want that. So in that kind of a place, how vulnerable is the couple to being replaced and nobody knowing better? And that's what was studied, I believe, from 96 till Mr. Kiran Merchant was pulled out in 2000. You should know how your raw structure functions. You should know how your agents function. Who knows who and who knows of whom. In that extra complexity, tell me you are fully aware of every operation of yours. Tell me with written guarantee. No, you give written guarantee. So if a clone or somebody similar looking to Kiran uncle is placed in his place, Kiran uncle is taken underground, tell me you know how to stop it. Because that's what has spiraled everything out of control. It's from 2000 onwards. Indra is Varsha, Indu. I told you her chatti name is what? What is Indu's chatti name? Indu, right? But her full name is Indira or Indra. But she was never called Indira, she was never called Indra. She was just called Varsha. It is she who I was told was taken underground. It is she who is blue blood. But the problem is she was routed, French blue blood routed through Kerala. Kerala became a communist state. So I don't think they really like people with heirs or royalty. So maybe that is why she had to go incognito. I don't know. Not sure. But she's the French blue blood, she says. She's already moved out of her body. She has clones for her. They're scamsters. Do not fall for it. In fact, there is a girl who has shapeshifted for Rohika as well as for Varsha. One person. Bartila has also done the shape shifting. They are connected with a scamster group of 75 people. On the pendulum, when we have asked the woman who was shown to me in the sleep as Koshi Gupta, next to her shanty off the railway is Shalina Varsha. Shalina Undalani, Varsha Advani. They're shameless, enjoying themselves outside their shanty washing vessels in Bombay. Both of them are alive, I asked. And they are scamsters, they're part of the 75 to 100 scamsters. So don't fall for it. These are two identities, do not fall for it. If you do, it is at your peril. As far as I'm concerned, because I was given the advice not to move out anywhere, I have always been stationary since 2017, I think, or late 2016. I was also very sick in 2017 and half of 18. So I'm mostly stationary in one place. Mostly stationary in one place. Mostly stationary in one place. But I am the original JAYA.ADVANI from 1973. If you think I'm madder, I'm not. That girl has already left her body. She did Advani madness. She doesn't hang around in the afterlife with this community, but she has already moved. You are confused in your own cloning. So except you clone people, except you use silicon, except you are grabbing IDs of dead people, wearing it yourself and scanning people. Accept it. Are you with me? Is the fan coming in your way too much? Just 1 minute. Okay, is this better? You were fasting yesterday, you said. Have you broken your fast so far? Did you enjoy what little that was cooked yesterday? When I came here, the smell was pretty good. So it lasted still. It's okay if I leave it here? Okay, I've left it so that you could... It was good? It's still eatable? There's a lot of oil in it. Okay, but you're okay with it? Because it's good for everyone. Okay, good. Now, you know what? I was a little upset. Off camera, yesterday night you said you were meditating, so I didn't want to insist. Yet, I needed to find out about the Aki versus AKIL, Akil, whereas Akil Gupta is AKHIL. Right? You say Akil Gupta lost his life in 1995. He's my cousin brother, at least from the 70s. His mother Kaushalya Advani married to Subhash Gupta, Mrs. Koshi Gupta. You say she was murdered in 1993. After that, there is a scamster who came out in her place. However, in her identity also, the churning that happened, you're saying people died. Some of the old scamsters are no more. However, I asked you about two people who were sent to me in my deep sleep or in my prayers. Off the railway patri, looked like it was Bombay. There is one Shalina who's supposed to be you, and one Koshi Gupta, and they're shamelessly sitting outside to very worn out shanties. It is off the railway track, and they're shameless, right? They're enjoying themselves. You said those two are still in their human body? So we take that version of Koshi Gupta who you showed me off the railway tracks. Has she left her human form? Then we take Shalina, who's supposed to be you, but she is friends before they have started scamming, or joining the scamster group of 75 people to 100 people. SL's part of the scamster group. Kira and his associations run the scamster group. Kira and his associations run the scamster group. I can't see because I don't have my glasses. So if this pendulum touches the board, I don't have my glasses. So what I was just trying to say is Kira is running the scamster group. Kira is Kiran Merchant. He is a raw agent. He is an ISI agent. He has worked for SRK in the past. He works as SRK still sometimes. He is a criminal. He belongs to some criminal syndicate. But he's a Pakistani spy. How can he be a Pakistani spy but not the ISI? Is he the ISI? But he's a Pakistani spy. But he's a criminal connected with some criminal syndicates. The real Mr. Kiran Merchant, who is the blood-related, DNA-related son of Narottam Das Merchant at Chowpatty with his wife Niranjani Merchant. Married to Anita, ex-Mrs. Anita Advani. That man is in his human form. Is that the man who's the Sant? In my readings, is he called the Sant? He doesn't like garlic and onion, right? So ask him not to talk because I know the pendulum is going slow because he hates garlic and onion. And that's bharpoor tarike se in this food. So let Varsha only answer. You want me to remove the food from here? You have eaten, Varsha? You want me to remove this from here? Okay, wait. That's the food. So I'll just remove it. Okay. Okay, the remnants of the food, the smell is still there, but it's gone for most part of it. Okay, it was smelling good from the point of view. If you like the sabzi and you like the roti, then it's nice. But if you don't like garlic and onion, it can be overpowering. Anyway, what I do want to ask is, Varsha, I wanted to know about Shambhavi and Umesh. Not so much Umesh. Umesh, we have got not the full idea, but we've got for Shambhav. I was shocked yesterday actually about Shambhav E. And that really upset me actually. Again, we spoke about Shambhav E yesterday. Again, I walked into my living room today. Again, the Shambhav E comes over here and she messes around in the house sometimes to show if she is displeased. Yesterday also she's dropped my clothes on the floor. Second time when we've discussed her. On her own within 1 hour's time. And then this morning when I've come into the living room, again my painting also is upside down. For 2 years it's no problem. Now suddenly today it was upside down. On its own on the wall. Next to the small bedroom. That was her only. Tell her not to. Okay, tell her she can show her displeasure. No problem. And her presence, I don't mind. It's good. I hope she doesn't hate us. Does she hate us? She understands who the culprit is and how he has played everybody and literally undone everyone's hard work. Shambhav E is SM Krishna's daughter. She's the sister-in-law of Siddharth of Cafe Coffee Day. Now I'm coming to the crux of the matter, which is pretty shocking as well as very distressing. Shambhav E. Krishnan was CRISPR'd as Anita Merchant ever. Can you tell me in which year Shambhav E. Krishnan, SM Krishna's daughter, married to Umesh Hingorani, was pulled off the grid? She was pulled off the grid by whom? By Kiran Merchant itself? The one who pulled her off the grid was Kiran Merchant himself? Alone? The effort was alone. He did this entirely on his own. Did Bhartila help him in the cause? Did Pabitra help him? Gautam E helped in getting Shambhav E off the grid? You're saying Gautam E went on, she helped how? By going on to play Shambhav E S Krishnan or Shambhav E Krishnan? In the kidnapping of Shambhav E, did Gautam E help? Did Kira kidnap Shambhav E entirely on his own? With Kira or Kiran Merchant, because the real Kiran Merchant is dead. So Kiran uncle, is it okay if I take your name as Kiran Merchant and saying, should I say Kira Kiran Merchant? Okay, so Kira Kiran Merchant. He had the help of whom in the kidnapping? Did Sanjeev Lekhraj help him in the kidnapping? Other than Sanjeev Lekhraj and Kira Kiran Merchant, was there anybody else who helped in the kidnapping? Did Kira Kiran Merchant use the help of any of the men from Lonavala who work over there? Shivaji being the Mali at the Birla household, Sudhani auntie's house, but Sudhani auntie passed away ages ago. Shivaji, who has 2 daughters, who went to college, I don't know, in Pune, Lonavala, Bombay, where, but between these places, I think Lonavala itself. Shivaji assists Kira Kiran Merchant in all these abductions. Other than that, is there anybody else who helps Kira Kiran Merchant? Jamnabai's son Raju helps with his cab service, or Deshpande's son? Was Deshpande's son involved in the kidnapping? Was Jamnabai's son involved in the kidnapping connected with Alka? Can't remember if Alka is the one who got burnt or it was somebody else. So his name is Raju, I think. That's what my mom used to say. Jamnabai's son used to be drunk all the time. His name is Raju. Kira Kiran Merchant is a Pakistani spy and a criminal. But he is not the ISI. He's what? A contract killer for somebody in Pakistan, and then he started doing spying work for them. He spies what? On the ISI also? So is he anti-ISI, anti-RAW, anti-everybody in short, and then he's also spying for somebody in Pakistan? But he's connected with a criminal network? Shivaji and Jamnabai's son Raju are his aides in criminal activity? So you said that there are people he has plugged in into Juara Tower at Purva Palm Beach. You said there is one on the 19th floor, two on the 18th floor. In fact, one of their name is Bachi Raju. And one is, the guy staying there is a tenant called Kailash. Opposite him is Gupta. It's funny because one is Koshi Gupta and the other one is Kailash Hingorani. That's on my floor. You said both of them work for Kira Kiran Merchant, or at least he has plugged them there for his work. Is it true? But they are the ISI? They are the ISI. Nineteenth floor is ISI? Above me? 14, no, so 1704 is also the ISI? 1704? That is plugged in by Kira? 1704 has been plugged in by Kira? So that's an outright criminal? And wait, let me just check since we're at it. 16. (1601) is what? ISI? 1602 is ISI? 1704 is ISI? (1704 is ISI? One below me. That is outright criminal, you say? Connected with what? Kira, the criminal network? That person is Archana Basu Malik. and Sundaram Malik. So they used to keep talking about Sundarbai Hall, Sundarbai Hall. These people were cutting into our conversations as early as when Kiran Merchant got pulled under the ground. So they've all come and planted themselves easily around me. All the culprits are around me. Kabir's replica is hand in glove with them. But Raw will sleep. This is the list. To spell it out in ABC, black and white. Interesting. The girls who were working over here shape-shifting are known to these people properly. They all belong to the same network. My family, whether it's the Advanis, whether it's the Sadranganis, all our in-laws, all our family friends have been affected by this shit lot only. Nobody else. While you were busy, I don't know what. Calling yourself Yuva, XY generation, enjoying handouts. Whatever you have enjoyed at Manath is like petty change compared to the blood money. That's why you are allowed to enjoy. So Pakistan, America does what? Keeps them poor, keeps them engaged, keeps paying them money and keeps them busy. Pakistan learnt it from America, did the same thing with those they have given little spoils to. For them it is chiller compared to the amount of trillions of blood money. It's a criminal network, Baba. You're working for that indirectly. If I can ask, is it okay to ask about Shambhav E's journey? S.M. Krishna's daughter, Vicky's sister, Siddharth's sister-in-law, Umesh's wife, Dev's mother. Can we ask about Shambhav E's journey? She's okay to talk about it. I need guts to actually hear it now. Though I did hear it yesterday. So tell me about Shambhav E. I had a dream about a girl superimposed on me where Akil, spelled as A-K-I-L or A-K-I, in my bedroom picks up a ladi, which means a big, you use the word kariya, so the ladi work is done by the kariya. Mason does the work of tiling, flooring. So I see that he has picked up one huge ladi, which means tile, and he's going to throw it on my back. The two dark girls are in the living room. I'm busy giving them instructions. They're refusing to do the work. They're doing exactly opposite on purpose. I'm foggy minded. A bird comes, which means a crow comes to my window in my bedroom. When I look at the crow, I don't think, I'm blank because I'm very foggy minded. And they are adding to the confusion in my mind. But the minute I look at the crow and I turn back to look at the two girls to continue giving them instructions. I'm in the bedroom, they're out in the living room in this home only. I see one of them converts into Sarah and I'm feeling pretty embarrassed. So I thought the murder happened in my home. Did that murder happen in my home behind my back when I went to Bombay when Anita had autoimmune? Anita is supposed to be ex-Mrs. Anita Advani, Anita Merchant, except you say Anita Merchant was put underground in 2002 end and she's had clones for her since and many people rotated on her identity since then. Shivaji knew that Kiran Merchant is Kira, who's a criminal. The Mali at Sudani's home, a lady who died ages ago. She's from the Birla family. Her bungalow is in Lunavla. Sham Kotak's bungalow also is near hers. Do they stay at Lokhandwala, Khandala? There's an old man called Nagpal uncle who stayed in Lokhandwala, Khandala. He used to visit Kiran uncle in the 80s or 90s till the time he was alive. Shivaji is the Mali at Sudani's home. Jamna Bai's son Raju is involved in these, in helping out Kiran Merchant, who's been called a Pakistani criminal, who works in SRK's outfit. The murder happened in my home. Aki is a shapeshifter for Akhil Gupta, AKHILGUPTA. Is Aki a shapeshifter? Or AKIL? Are they shapeshifters for the real Akhil Gupta since 1995? That means Aki was subordinate to Shambhav E when she started the event management company in Sadashiv Nagar. Akhil was given a job over there, AKIL or then AKI. He also joined Kingfisher at United Breweries, except that Akhil Gupta was murdered in 95, you say. So in short, Umesh and Shambhav E employed their cousin Akhil Gupta thinking he's the original, but that was not an original. That was a shapeshifter. Aki before knew Kiran Merchant. Have they been sent from the same source? Every infiltrator into the Advani family, Gupta family, Malia family, merchant household, each and every one, Shalina Hundalani, all of them are replicas put into place by the same source. Sanjeev Lekhraj too. Any connection to Dawood Dawn or Dawood Ibrahim in any way? Is SRK a partner in crime with Dawood Ibrahim? Is he a willing partner in crime? Is it only Dawood Ibrahim who is behind this? Is it only Dawood Ibrahim who is behind this? Dawood Ibrahim has other aides helping him? or other affiliations who help him? So this cloning business has been done by Dawood Ibrahim. All this tuck 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 avaz that we get where they're sitting vaporizing all bloody fucking I don't know what kind of smells. Illiterates. All being done by his illiterate team of illiterates. Do we have a commissioner of police in Bangalore called IPS Salim? Is he aware of Kira Kiran Merchant's identity and who he really is? Did Kira Kiran Merchant, when Errol visited India for 3 nights, infiltrate my home, break into my home on the 18th floor? Was IPS Salim aware of it? Did he support it? He's Commissioner of Police of Bangalore. He knows Kira's real identity. But he's Commissioner of Police of Bangalore. What about Siddaramaiah? Is he aware of who Kira really is? Kira Kiran Merchant, who he really is? That he's actually criminal connected to Dawood Ibrahim? And he is the ISI? Yet he spies for Pakistan as part and parcel addition to his criminal activities. He passes on information to Pakistan, half spy, mostly criminal. Siddaramaiah is aware of him. He supports him. What about Yedurappa? No, let's finish with Congress first. Or UPA. What are you? UPA. Siddaramaiah from UPA supports all this activity of criminal activity on the back of Kira. He knows Kira's real identity. That he is not the real Kiran Merchant. And he has stood in for Kiran Merchant in the SRK camp, also worked. What about DK Shivakumara? Is Mr. DK Shivakumara in his human form today? The real Mr. DK Shivakumara who grew at Sadashiv Nagar, I think. Or at least he's a Sambandhi of SM Krishna. Is that man in his human form today, in his human body today? He's Deputy CM. That identity is Deputy CM. But the original DK, what is his name? DK Shivakumara, is he in his human form today? The original Siddaramaiah is in his human form today? You're telling me Kiran Merchant replaced both Siddaramaiah as well as DK Shivakumara? What about Yedurappa? Yedurappa is still in his human form? He knows Kira's real identity? That he is not Kiran Merchant, he is Kiran Merchant, a Pakistani killer, a Pakistani criminal, and who also does extra for spying work. He's aware of it? He supports him? Last is Bomai. Is Bomai in his human form today? So whoever's playing Bomai was placed over there by Kiran Merchant, a hardened criminal and a Pakistani spy. This guy killed Ritika. Recently he killed 2 people, one on the Advani side of the family and one on the Sadrangani side of the family. Ritika on the Sadrangani side of the family and Nikhil Advani on the Advani side of the family. He's gone to America. He shapeshifts for Trump. Kiran Merchant. Shapeshifts for Donald Trump. Was it coincidence that the ice lolly guy who's selling stuff on the streets, looking like Trump, doesn't remember jack shit about himself? Albino. He was selling it on Pakistan streets. Is that any coincidence? Now you understand the backdrop of all of this? Why we are coming to Shambhav E. Krishnan? S.M. Krishna, the CM, who was a proper CM before all this dance drama started. Okay, if we can trace Shambhav E. S. Krishnan's or Shambhav E. Krishnan or Shambhav E. Hingorani, Mrs. Shambhav E. Hingorani's journey. You saying you said in and around July, August, September or August 2019, Shambhav E. Krishnan left her human form. Is it true? She was CRISPR'd as Mrs. Anita Merchant. But there is a big difference between Shambhav E. Krishnan's body structure, Anita Merchant's body structure. Shambhav E., whatever we know of her, she's bigger built than Anita Merchant. And she looks completely different. I was called to Bombay to Bhatia Hospital simply because Anita Merchant had autoimmune. She could not sit up on her own. She had to be helped by 2 ward boys and a nurse. Samdani was the doctor who was, and they keep calling Sam's name over here. But if you look at Sam over here, who do we have in Sam over here? Samit Anwar. That's 1901. What? Sudan? Ripu Sudan. Vishwakarma. The funny thing is, Urvashi is a building in Carmichael Road where Koshi Gupta's husband and his full family used to live at, Subhash Gupta. Later on, Pramila Malhotra's husband also had that flat. Another flat in the same building is what I'm guessing. That was Jayant Malhotra. This is interesting. Kailash Hingorani or then Mrs. Ritu Malia married to Mr. Malia in her second marriage, mother of Pramila Trimona and Umesh Hingorani. Then Mrs. Malia at Bangalore, Vittal Malia's wife, for 11 years before you did something to her. Archana is actually Rao's name. They used to keep calling her Archana, but her name is Binu. So Sam is over here. This woman's name is Shambhav E. And some Harish Bhaskar. These people know Cubs. Cubs knows these people. Cubs who stands in for Kabir Gupta, who lost his life in 2005 at Fern's residency with Shamlu, who's not the original Shamlu. They know these people. They're all part of the same syndicate. They just played the just played the sound of flit in my right ear. Has Raw plugged itself into my home too so that they can understand what the hell this is? Do they have access to my videos? Are they the only ones not accessing what I do? Coming down to Shambhav E's case, I just want to understand Shambhav E. Krishnan, S.M. Krishnan's daughter, Umesh Hingorani's wife. She was kidnapped by Kira and his associates. In which year? She was kidnapped in Bangalore. Was she pulled off the grid in Bangalore? I want to understand here at Bangalore, Karnataka. Was she pulled off the grid in abroad somewhere? She was pulled off the grid on a foreign travel of hers. Okay, was she pulled off the grid in 2019? So let's just say, was she abducted in 2019? Was she abducted in 2018? Was she abducted 2017? Was she abducted 2016? Was she abducted 2015? Yesterday when I checked off the camera, you told me 2017. Today you're telling 2015. She was first pulled off the grid in 2015. She was abducted first abroad in 2015. What was she doing between, but she lost her life, you say, August 2019? You're saying she was alive for 4 years after getting abducted? You're saying 15 to 16, 16 to 17, 17 to 18, 18 to 19? When she was abducted, where was she held? In India itself? For 4 years she was max held up where? At India? At Bangalore itself? At Bombay? Mumbai? Was Shambhav E held up at Mumbai or Bangalore? Delhi? Kerala? She was holed up in Kerala? After that, what? Was she brought to Lonavala after that? Her journey was reverse because most people were first brought to Lonavala and then taken to Kerala. In the case of Sonia Rajiv Gandhi. But in Shambhav E's case, it was what? First to Kerala and then to Lonavala? At Lonavala, Shambhav E was there for how many years? Shambhav E was brought to Lonavala in 2019. Shambhav E was brought to Lonavala in 2018. Shambhav E was brought to Lonavala 2017. I was called to Bombay in 2019 because I was told Mama has been put into the hospital. Her case is very bad. She's got autoimmune. And she's been put up at Bhatia Hospital. The doctor is Samdani. My mother had already broken her hip earlier on, and that was at Amritanandamayi Mata's ashram at Nerul. Junjunwala is the doctor who was treating her in Bombay hospital. Then going forward, she had autoimmune. The one who broke her hip and the one who had autoimmune was the same lady. Both had the identity of Mrs. Anita Merchant. They were two different people with two medical conditions on the identity of one person called Mrs. Anita Advani or ex-Mrs. Anita Advani, Mrs. Anita Merchant. Shambhav E was that who was who? The one with the broken hip? The one with the broken hip was what? Neena Nanthur? Because Neena Nanthur also broke her hip, was on a wheelchair for a long time. Junjunwala doctor is the one who looked after her. It was not Meena Nanthur, it was somebody else. Was it my own mother, ex Mrs. Anita Advani? Was it Shalina Hundalani or Varsha Advani, file name cat, who that happened to? Do I know that lady even, who was brought in as Mrs. Anita Merchant but with a broken hip and on a wheelchair for 2 years or whatever it was? That is somebody I don't even know. When it comes to Shambhav E, S.M. Krishna's daughter, she's the one who died out of autoimmune at Bhatia Hospital, kept in shit for one night because no nurse was available on that floor on that night. BJP was sitting in the next door in the same bloody room, in the other bed, where Mrs. Anita Merchant was in her bed. It was 2-to-1 room. That was Shambhav E. Krishnan's send-off. They were putting the Kerala markings on her forehead or Tamil Nadu markings on her forehead. Was that Aarti Artha shape-shifting for Shambhav E. Krishnan, S.M. Krishna's daughter? Was that Aarti Nanthur in that place? Was that Artha in that place? Was that some security person in that place doing dance drama? Was that some other girl? Kiran Merchant of that time was very rude too. It was brought to my notice, I noticed it, but then it was brought to my notice by who was playing Shalina. Then a prettier version in 2 days is put on that same bed, and what is Kiran Merchant doing? Stroking her chin, something the real Kiran Merchant never did to my mom. Were they two different people? The one who was very upset because she was left in shit the entire night, and I don't know till the time I had arrived into when I visited that next day. And this is what was told to me. That was Shambhav E. Krishnan. What is it? She was murdered? Her murderer is who? She was exchanged in that hospital? Kiran uncle, the real Mr. Kiran Merchant, is he in his human form, Narottam Das Merchant's son? Yet this hospital is their community, Bhatia community. Many of the donors are from the Bhatia community for the Bhatia hospital at Bombay Tardeo. So Kiran Merchant's father's hard work, donations, his ancestors, their 5 buildings in Chowpatty, one Pakistani criminal comes and just takes over. It is because his father, the real Kiran Merchant's father, is a donor earlier to Bhatia Hospital. This guy played truant on the back of it, utilizing the original donor's family ancestry money. And on the back of it, actually misbehaved with Shambhav E. Krishnan, who is S.M. Krishna's daughter, and gave her a terrible send-off. The girl, 2-3 days as Mrs. Anita Merchant, looking a lot prettier, that I say, you're looking much nicer today. You're suddenly looking very nice. You were very upset 2-3 days ago, or yesterday, or day before. Was that girl and the girl who was in shit and upset, were they the same person as Mrs. Anita Merchant? Is it true that there was a BJP member who was on the bed, in the other bed, in the same room, in the same hospital room? Now I have to ask you about that other patient who was a BJP patient. Was that BJP patient placed over there? Did they belong to the criminal network? Were they in fact also victims of the same criminal syndicate? Whoever was there for the longest time. In 3 days, 4 days, the other bed was getting freed up. Relatively sooner, wasn't the other bed in the room where Anita Merchant was put, wasn't that being rotated pretty soon compared to Anita Merchant herself? Were all of them victims of this criminal network? Some of them were genuine cases. But how were they exchanging Anita Merchant? I cannot understand. Is it just that they put the ego of a person on a person? They actually exchange physically two people? This message was given out in the movie Dawn 1, Dawn 2 and Amitabh Bachchan's Dawn also. It is Dawood Dawn's people who made an offer of 20-40 crores for a 500 crore property at Chowpatty. When Kiran Merchant, when Mr. Kanhaiya Hukumat Advani, whoever was Mr. Kanhaiya Advani at that time, May 2018, 3rd of May 2018 is when he has passed away. But prior to that, didn't my sister Varsha Advani, file name Cat, wasn't she murdered in February 2018? The white light that I saw, or the white aura that I saw on my cupboard, wasn't that file name Cat? Didn't she come almost immediately to Sumanta's? Simply because she lost her temper being shown, I think, my home and my dad's home. She says she knew somebody even kicked her, where she shows herself broken skull and broken nose and temple. She says somebody also dressed up as me, but she was not convinced it was me. She knew it was a trick. My mom was not so lucky, right? My mom, whoever they presented themselves as in front of her, she believed that. Did my mom know that they were replicas, duplicates? The original Mrs. Anita Advani, Anita Merchant, knew that whoever was being presented as family members are actually clones, duplicates, replicas. So she didn't know it. But Varsha was fooled. They tried the same trick with Varsha. Was she fooled? Bezos's wife was fooled. McKinsey says that somebody from the SKF group also shapeshifted as Bezos. SL also shapeshifts for Bezos. Bezos's height is 5'7", 5'8", not more than that. SL is 5'7.5". Salman Khan was 5'6.5", 5'7". Shah Rukh also is that height only. It is 9 people in SKF's group that shapeshift, and some for Bezos also. Was McKinsey distraught when she lost her life because the man presented himself as Bezos over those 1.5, 2 years? Did McKinsey realize that was not her husband? 。 . 。 . 。 . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . .
。 . .
The man who got married as Bezos this time, few days ago, was that the real Bezos? Like the real Mr. Jeff Bezos, founder of Cadabra and Amazon? Was that actually somebody whose SL, Sanjeev Lekhraj, was actually doing the role of Bezos? Between Bertila, Gautam E, and Pabitra, between these three girls, mostly Bertila, did she play Sanche, Lauren Sanche? This girl has shapeshifted for Rohika Chagla Mystery too. Is that why in my home you were talking Rohika and Bertila last bloody fucking 1 week? On this useless network of shit? Will Sanche be saved from the place where I've put out? Close to the wildlife reserve? No, it is some hope something I said. I'll show you the place yet once again since we're on the topic. So nobody says no, they didn't know. Oh God. So I've just shown you 6 hours away from where Bezos' home is.